Hi, my name is Radiance and I will be instructing you through your yoga flow today. Today's yoga flow will be focusing on the heart chakra and bringing energy to this center. The heart chakra is associated with love and compassion. What I want you to do now is think about your intentions for practice. You can set the intention that I want to love myself more clearly. The love I seek is seeking me within. Or I live with love and compassion. Those are just examples of what you can use for your intention today. When you're ready, meet me on the mat in Tadasana. Stand tall with your feet together, ground yourself, and take an inhale. Sweep your arms up, and as you exhale, bring your arms to your side. Find your balance. Make sure you breathe and ground your feet into the floor. Visualize energy radiating upward from the bottom of your feet through the crown of your head. Lift your arms upward to reach above your head as we prep for Utkatasana or chair pose. Your arms should be parallel to each other. Rotate your outer upper arms and reach up through your fingertips. Exhale, bend your knees and sit down even further, bringing your weight into your heels. Shift your hips back and your tailbone down. Roll your inner thighs into the floor and draw your knees right above the ankles. Breathe. Exhale and hinge at the hips to forward fold, bringing your arms down until your fingertips reach the floor. If you're unable to reach the floor, you can use blocks for modification. Spread your toes and press down evenly through all corners of your feet. Straighten your legs and arms as you lift your chest. Broaden your chest and press your heels into the floor. Plant your hands down to the floor and make sure your shoulders are in line with your wrist. Push your feet back and come to the balls of your feet with your toes spread out and your heels pressing back for plank pose. Soften your shoulders, melt your heart down, lift your sternum. Press back into downward facing dog with your hands and toes planted. Lift your hips up as you straighten your legs and draw your heels down to the floor. Lift your right leg high into the sky and draw your knee to meet your hand, stepping into a high lunge. Make sure your right knee and shin are lined up with your right ankle. Rest your fingertips on the floor, square your hips, and ground your heel down to extend your left foot behind you. Draw your arms up above your head, parallel to each other, opening your heart and your chest. Breathe here. Place your hands back to the border of your feet and push your right heel back to meet your left, returning to plank pose. Exhale, and then place your elbows over your wrists and lower yourself down. Make sure your shoulders are in line with your elbows. Ground your palm and fingers to the floor for chaturanga. Lift your chest, bend up your arms, and place your wrist underneath your elbows. Inhale, straighten your arms, and draw your tailbone down. Open your chest, gaze forward, and remember your intentions for this practice. When you're ready, shift back into downward facing dog. Remember to draw your chest to your thighs and press your heels down. We are going to do this on the opposite side. Draw your left foot up to the sky and shift your knee towards your hands. Plant your left foot down in between your hands. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale your arms above your head and make sure they're parallel. For an extra stretch in your back, down your spine, interlock your fingers, keeping the pointer finger up, and slowly press your fingertips back, creating an arch. Gaze into the sky and breathe here. When you're ready, dive your arms back down into a high lunge and move your left foot back to meet your right. Take the flow here, press your elbows down, sit in chaturanga, lift your chest up for upward facing dog. Press your heels down and move back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Inhale with an open mouth exhale, releasing all stagnant energy in the body. We're going to take that flow a bit quicker. Pull your right leg up to the sky and bring it between your arms, planting down. Shift your arms up, opening your chest. Make sure that everything is parallel and sink your hips down. Cartwheel your hands down, bring your foot back to your heel and press down for downward dog. Make sure your heels are down. Draw your left foot up and bring your knee to meet in between your hands. Draw your hands up, opening your chest. Sit tall. When you're done, cartwheel your hands down and bring your left foot to meet the right. Press back into downward facing dog. Pedal your left and right heels here, creating some space within your hips. Draw your right foot up and over to stack the right hip with your left, opening up the hip flexors. Breathe here. When you're ready, draw your knee in between your arms. Drop your left knee down to the mat for a low lunge. Make sure your toes are extended along the floor behind you. Draw your tailbone down as you lift, your front hip bones upward, finding a neutral pelvis. Gaze forward and breathe. Heel toe your foot to the outside of your mat and position your hands on the inside of your foot. You can stand in a high placement or you can drop to your forearms for a deeper stretch. Make sure that you're breathing here. Tuck your toes under and lift your left foot. Press down and draw your right foot back to meet your left. And go ahead and press into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Draw your left foot to the sky and stack your hips. Bring your knee forward and sit your foot in between your hands. Lift your chest up and breathe. Heel toe your left foot to the outside of your mat. Bring both hands inside of your left foot. Breathe. Keep your chest up, or you can drop down to your forearms for a deeper stretch. Listen to your body. Bring your hands on the exterior of your left foot and press your foot back into a high plank. Bend your elbows down and drop into a chaturanga. Lift your chest up into an upward facing dog, and then press your chest back into a downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, and we're going to use this time to think about the intentions that you set at the beginning of practice. When you're ready, gently walk your feet towards your hands. Bring your hands to the mat or the block from before and press up on your shins to open your heart forward once more. Grab each of your arms and give yourself a hug. Tell yourself that you love yourself and you are very proud of you for coming to practice today. Place your hands back on your shins and rise slowly, sweeping your hands above your head, grabbing all the love that surrounds you. Bring your hands into a prayer posture and fold down. Place your hands on your shins, rise up for a halfway lift, release into a forward fold, and draw your hands up again to grasp that love. Interlock your fingers, leaving your index finger up, and bend backwards, opening your chest. Breathe. Fold over into a forward fold. Place your hands on your shin for a halfway lift and exhale back into a forward fold. Inhale your arms, similar to the beginning of practice for chair pose. Make sure your arms are parallel to one another and sit back. Draw your tailbone back and your chest up. Gaze forward and breathe. Dive down into a forward fold and breathe slowly. Rise into a halfway lift and back into a forward fold. Rise up vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly. Roll your shoulders back, chest up. You may head down to the floor so that we can get ready for Savasana. Relax your body and feel your body rooting into the ground. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. You can have your legs elongated or a butterfly position to open up your hips. When you're in this meditative practice, think about the love that you have given yourself today and the love that you give yourself every day so that it may flow out into the world. Relax here. Listen to your breath and listen to your heart. Take as much time as you need, but if you're joining me for the conclusion of this practice, when you're ready, go ahead and roll into one side into a fetus position. Use your arm to press up into a cross-leg position and bring your arms to a prayer pose on your head. Thank yourself for tuning in to yourself in this practice. Bring your arms to your heart and remember that you are love and love flows effortlessly through you. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.